The truth is that you can get anyone to think about you whenever you want. And in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you how you can do that. And not only how you can get anybody to think about you whenever you want to, but also what happens in the end. If you are still showing up as a version of you that doesn't feel worthy of them, of the love, of the job, of the business, of the success, of the career, of the clients, of the multi-million pounds, of that wealth, of the lavish, luxurious lifestyle, of the inspirational friends, celebrity lifestyle, that person, then I want you to know that I understand that ache of wanting, of hoping, of trying to show up, even if consciously, like, of course I'm worthy. Of course I'm worthy of them. Be lucky to have me. Of course I'm worthy of having the multi-millions. Of course I'm worthy of living a lavish, luxurious life. Of course I'm worthy of having the multi-billion pound business. Of course I'm worthy of having the clients, the job promotion, the bonus. The salary that I want. Of course I am. But the question is, when you look outside of you, your reality can only reflect what is really true for you based on what you are dominantly, subconsciously holding on to. So whilst I used to consciously think, oh, I'm such a good person, someone would be really lucky to have me. Let me tell you, that was a conscious thought, but it wasn't my subconscious belief. It wasn't my dominant belief about myself that I have buried my entire life. Your outer world is you pushed out. And I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail in a lot more detail in this video. But I want you to know that whilst you can get anyone to think about you in the way that you want to get the outcome that you want, it's that lasting result that's what we want. The breakthrough to keep it, the results, the lasting results, the lasting, long-lasting results. No more inconsistencies. Because I want you to know that I know exactly how that feels. Exactly how that feels. That ache of wanting, of hoping, of trying to show up, but feeling really actually invisible. So I'm here today to open your eyes up to something that I experienced my entire life until recently. And so you don't continue to experience it. And that was, I was consistently living in a state of chaos, confusion, inconsistencies in all areas of my life. And I couldn't see it. And it wasn't until I realized why this was happening that I could finally experience, finally, for the first time in my life, manifesting from a healed heart, as opposed to from manifesting over deeply buried traumas and wounds and subconscious beliefs and negative emotions that were still controlling me, controlling my life, the trajectory of my life, and what I was experiencing. Every time, you guys, I manifested, I felt a fleeting victory, followed by the familiar crash of disappointment. Not always instantly, but it happened. But that pattern can be broken. So whilst, yes, I could manifest that person back, I could manifest a 30K months, I could manifest a successful business, I could manifest a diary full of coaching clients all over the world, traveling all over the world with my business. I could manifest my social media platform exploding, viral worthy content. I could manifest myself being this radiant, confident person, magnetic person you see before you. But I hadn't learned the secret, how to manifest consistency, because I was wired through my childhood, my experiences, to experience that inconsistencies. for things to come and go, for love to come and go, to have to earn love, to fight for it, for money to come and go, to have to work really hard and hustle and struggle, for friends to come and go, to be treated inconsistently, kindly then unkindly, to be chosen then not chosen, to be an option, then included, then not included, inconsistently, to have chaos, confusion, uncertainty, unpredictability. I know that familiar roller coaster. It leaves you beyond exhausted, doubting yourself at every single turn. And that is how I was wired. That's how my nervous system was regulated to receive. It was dysregulated, you see, but regulated to receive that. And it needed to be regulated and it needed to be recalibrated. It needed a new frequency to live from so I could finally receive consistency of peace, kindness, support, being chosen, love, generosity, care, success, wealth, financial abundance, being seen just as I am, speaking my truth consistently without fear, so I could safely and consistently hold it all, consistently hold it all and receive it all. And now all I had to do was spend time finally doing this one thing, healing these deeply buried wounds that I'd pushed down unintentionally, subconsciously, that felt like heartbreak. It's like your inner child whispering all these things that you were told, that you weren't good enough, and that you had forgotten about. So let me tell you something. They do not escape you ever. I've had a client who has been sending me updates on her journey, and she recently told me, she's doing the Healed Heart Blueprint, and she recently told me that she went to a class to learn how to speak a different language, and she signed up for a beginner's class. When she went into the class, it actually seemed that the people that showed up to the class were more intermediate than beginners, even though it was a beginner's class. Now, she felt horrendous. She felt extremely thick and stupid and slow. She even used these words, slow. She was absolutely in tears. She couldn't answer any of the questions. She wasn't crying then, but afterwards, she couldn't answer any of the questions. She couldn't speak the words that the other people in the class could speak. And she came out feeling extremely, extremely sad and very, very upset and very down, very extremely triggered. And you see, this one incident, this one experience that she was triggered by was based on the fact that when she grew up, she had a teacher that told her that she was basically thick and stupid and that she had to do summer school or she was going to be held back a year. She was mortified and she hated it. She hated being in summer school. She never went back to summer school. But she had a father who would basically hit her if she couldn't say the alphabet in the right order. So she had these beliefs within her that if she didn't show up being an A-class student, she would be punished. She would be punished, she would be ridiculed, she would be left behind. And this is what she has been living with her entire life and how she's been acting her entire life. But it was only when she stepped out of her comfort zone and tried something that she'd never done before that it came pouring back and it triggered her. And only then did she start speaking about herself as somebody that was slow at learning, which was just these limiting beliefs now coming to the surface based on these experiences that she had gone through as a child. So she was about ready to give up until she understood why through the Healed Heart Blueprint. And she has worked through every single module, which there are 7, to get to the root cause of the inner child of this through the heart of the inner child work. through the root of the inner child work, taking it step by step, module by module, by releasing these patterns. So what she was able to do, she was able to release these patterns of that it wasn't safe for her, that punishment could come, that she could be left or abandoned or ridiculed if she wasn't perfect, because without that safety, those old fears would always sneak back in, whispering, "You are not enough." You know what? The feelings that she had that she would be left behind when everybody moves forward, the fear of being alone. So through the Healing Heart Blueprint, going through the inner child modules, she is now able to nurture her inner child and remind her inner child that it's okay, because it is okay, that she's not expected to know everything. What happened to her was not nice and it wasn't deserved. But she isn't expected to know everything on this planet. She's not expected to be perfect. And if she finds a class difficult, it doesn't mean that she's slow. It just means it's too advanced for her right now. But with practice, she'll be in that class one day and it will be the right class for her. So whether she actually stays in that class or decides to find a different class more suited for her level, she can start learning from a place of enjoyment, fulfillment, knowing that she's safe to not always be able to get it right. It's okay. She now knows that whether she gets something right or not, she's enough. She's enough just as she is. And this also led into her being on these types of patterns she was holding on to, being on eggshells in relationships or blaming herself when things went wrong because she wasn't being perfect enough. You see, this is how powerful these experiences are. No matter how much you've buried them, they will come back to the surface until you free yourself from them, until you release yourself from them. So when you try something, or when you step into a new relationship and you haven't had a relationship for a long time, maybe you've done a certain amount of healing work, and then you step into the relationship for the first time. The maintenance of holding this new version of yourself is going to be key to avoid self-sabotaging, to avoid those triggers coming back. That is why maintenance of deep healing work, why it's daily, is so imperative for consistency and long-lasting breakthrough changes. So, the truth is, you can get anybody to think about you. How? Just by you thinking about them. Because we're all energetically connected. You can get anybody to think about you, no matter where they are, how far away they are. You can get the outcome that you want by thinking of that outcome from that person. So if you are aligning to the story of the outcome that you want, and I've done this with so many different techniques, I've manifested texts, more or less word for word. I've manifested people that I hadn't heard from in 9 months, word for word messages. I've manifested contracts I thought would give me nothing, and I turned it into £20,000. I've manifested specific people back time and time and time again. I've manifested clients moving their sessions to fit my time. I've manifested a successful business. I've manifested 30K months. I've manifested doubling my every single month. I've manifested a full diary of coaching clients. I've manifested an effortlessly toned body. You know, I've manifested it all. But the one thing I wasn't able to do until now was to hold it all consistently. I wasn't able to hold the love. I wasn't able to hold the money. I wasn't able to hold the success. I wasn't able to hold the momentum on my social media platform. I wasn't able to hold my mindset consistently, or my inner conversations consistently, to what it was that I wanted. And why? Because it wasn't safe for me. It just simply wasn't safe for me to hold it consistently. It wasn't safe for me. It wasn't safe because of this, because I would be judged, because I had been judged, because I would be ridiculed, because I had been ridiculed. No matter how I showed up, I was ridiculed. I would be pushed aside. I wouldn't be included. I'd be shouted at. I'd be treated badly. I would be put down, gaslit, manipulated. All of this was inconsistent. Like I was under everybody else's fucking control but mine, because I was receiving some level of kindness, some level of support, some level of consistency, some level of love, some level of respect, some level of feeling value, some level of being prioritized, some level of being complimented, some level of being spoiled, some level of being looked after, some level of being included. And I held on to that sum. I held on. But the thing is, I was settling in familiar, ingrained patterns that were so familiar I couldn't see them, based on this being how I was treated as a child, based on me being born through soaking up vibrational feelings and in the womb. That she felt like an inconvenience, so I felt like an inconvenience. That she didn't feel enough, so I didn't feel enough. That she, excuse me, had to struggle, therefore I had to struggle. That she had to put up with crappy relationships and being treated like shit, therefore I had to put up with crappy relationships and being treated like shit. I was the mirror of my mother. You see, all of these outside experiences were just mirrors reflecting what I was carrying deeply within inside of me. Until I healed that, nothing was ever going to stick for good. So the only way I could stop what was happening outside of me, these inconsistencies, the chaos, the confusion, that hurt, that pain, the disrespect, the money leaving, the success disappearing, the subscriber count dropping, the only way I could take my power back was by going deep within me. And this relates to the truth. You can get them to think about you. You can get anybody to think about you, align to you as you want, whether that's a job, a promotion, a person you've got your heart set on being with, a new love interest, a successful career, multi-millions, a lavish, luxurious life, passive income, clients coming out of your ears, high vibe opportunities, compliments, texts, calls, or relationships, friendships, inspirational people in your life. You can manifest this. You can. But if you have deeply buried wounds where inconsistency, chaos, and confusion are all around you, then guess what? You won't be able to hold it. Your nervous system is wired to receive inconsistencies. So what manifest? You may self-sabotage it, or everything outside of you is a reflection of you, of your deeply buried, traumatic, negative emotions, subconscious, deeply dominant, buried beliefs about yourself. So if you experience inconsistencies and you look at your life and patterns, you'll know the answer because of how you feel. So whatever you manifest, either you will end up self-sabotaging it based on the fact that you are holding on to these beliefs about yourself, that it's not safe for you to hold it, it's not safe for you to have it, that inconsistency is your wired nervous system. So therefore you have to experience inconsistency. You will behave or act or speak in a way where it actually goes, or because everybody is you reflected outside of you. Everybody outside of you is a reflection of what you dominantly think about yourself within, dominantly buried, that they will only be able to show up treating you, in the end, inconsistently, coming and going, leaving, causing chaos, confusion. You see, so everything outside of you is, like I said, a reflection of you. And that is why if you experience inconsistencies and you look at your life and the patterns, you will know, you'll know the answer is coming from your inner child, from these deeply buried beliefs that you're holding on to from your childhood and before, because of how you feel. You'll be able to see it. So if you are ready to be able to get anyone to think about you, to choose you, to show up for you, to receive money, promotions, bonuses, love, beyond love, friendship, success, social media momentum, passive income, to live a celebrity style lifestyle, and to hold all of it consistently, long lasting, without any more chaos or any more confusion, but with peace and clarity, then you need to manifest from a healed heart. So, by releasing the root cause, by regulating and recalibrating your nervous system to align with the version of you that is finally safe to receive consistency, peace, clarity, and ease, and to hold it all, your birthright abundance, your love, your success, your wealth, your friendships, your opportunities will be received consistently. So if you are ready to do this, if this resonates, you guys, and if you are ready to do this so you get long-lasting change, no more inconsistencies or chaos, then check out the Healed Heart Blueprint or my program, Be Love, which are both deep healing subconscious recalibration work to rewire your neural systems, to rewire your nervous system, your neural pathways, to finally receive it all safely, consistently, with peace and ease. So the links are below or in my bio. So to wrap this up, you guys, you can get anybody to think about you, to choose you, to show up in the way that you want. That text, that call, that message, that promotion, that new job, that money, because that's the truth. It's your reality. And when you dominantly hold that feeling, when you think about them as you want them to think about you, they will feel it. And the outer world catches up to your dominant inner story. So you don't have to chase, you don't have to convince or control anyone. All you have to do is align to the version of you who is already chosen, already thought of, already loved, already supported, already wealthy, already successful, already enough. And everything else will follow. Everything else will follow. So please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I absolutely love your comments, guys. Honestly, in the comments I'm receiving, like even more lately, are absolutely off the scale. They melt my heart. So please keep them coming. I'm sending you so much love from Ibiza. I had to sit down. I was feeling a little bit weak today. Just thought I'd show you the views. I've tried to record this so many bloody times. Dogs barking and there's so much noise. And anyway, I did it. I got it done. Give this a go. Give it a go. Either way, a go. So you're either gonna be looping a beautiful story of what it is you're wanting just by feeling it in, thinking about it, sitting in stillness with it. Or if you're somebody like me who has all of this chaos and inconsistencies and these anxieties from people and situations going on, think about your childhood and think about whether it's matching up. And if it is, and maybe now you're ready to go deep within, maybe you're now ready. So yeah, if you do have any questions about my deep inner healing programs, Be Love or the Healed Heart Blueprint, then just DM me on Instagram, or you can email me at natalie@asthepennyshop.com. So as always, you guys, and this is actually my last video from Ibiza. Maybe not. Maybe it is. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a magic wand. Anyway, I send you so much love. Surrounded by butterflies. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, you guys, and subscribe. And as always, maybe or maybe not from Ibiza, I will be back very, very soon.